Tonight, a roadmap for regional South Australia unveiled by the Premier in Port Lincoln. And the ambulance union calls for respect after a vehicle is damaged in Whyalla.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. Economic growth and creating regional jobs. That's at the heart of South Australia's new regional roadmap announced in Port Lincoln today. The Premier visiting local businesses, spruiking the pre-election strategy.
An icy cool opportunity for regional South Australia. Premier Stephen Marshall launching the government's Our Regions Matter strategy in Port Lincoln today.
What it does is it outlines our direction as a state to support and develop our regions.
The roadmap outlines 5 key pillars the government says will help grow regional communities. Top of the list is expanding regional voices.
We feel very strongly that our regions are the powerhouse of South Australia's opportunity going forward.
And the figures back that statement up. South Australia's regions injects $29 billion per year into the economy and employs just short of 150,000 workers. The timing of today's announcement aimed at reeling in voters. With the election a year away and polls suggesting a tight race, the government's looking to shore up support.
This is a project which is going to make sure that we can fulfil our full potential in this area.
Even though the first sod is still waiting to be turned on the government's $90 million desalination plant.
The government is still 100% committed to the desal plant here on the Lower Eyre Peninsula. We have committed the money. It is in the budget at the moment. A project that, quite frankly, the Eyre Peninsula has been calling for a long period of time.
But a start date is still uncertain, making next year's deadline to have it operational a tight one. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
South Australia's ambulance union is urging the community to be more respectful towards paramedics, saying they are just trying to help. It comes after a Whyalla man was recently arrested and charged for allegedly throwing a rock at one of their vehicles.
Fearful for their safety.
Paramedics come to work to obviously help the community, and they don't deserve to be threatened with violence or, physical aggression.
The union representing paramedics calling on its members and the public to report violent acts. It comes after a Whyalla man was arrested and charged over the weekend, allegedly damaging the rear window of an ambulance.
Luckily, our paramedics weren't harmed during this rock-throwing incident, which we can take solace in, but it was completely unprovoked and it's completely unacceptable.
Police say they were called to the scene after reports a man had thrown a rock through the window of a parked ambulance before walking away. A fire crew was also sent to the incident, helping remove the shattered glass. Patrols quickly located and arrested a 54-year-old local man nearby, charging him with property damage. The incident putting local crews down 1 vehicle, a service the association says is already limited.
We see a lot of alcohol-fueled violence throughout South Australia, but especially up within the local regions.
The union says there are now only 2 active ambulance vehicles, with a third, usually used as a spare, currently still out of action. They're unsure when it will be fixed and ready to return to the front line. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Port Augusta's Anzac Day celebrations will now be invitation only, following COVID advice from the state's RSL headquarters. The changes mean only those who have served or are serving will be invited to attend. The local RSL president says it's disappointing they are now unable to officially host the public.
Generally speaking, the public aren't invited, but we're only going to occupy a small part of Gladstone Square. And, if people want to turn up in the car park and whatever and listen in, that's sort of beyond our control.
Residents are being encouraged to light up the dawn from home. Broken Hill is playing host to representatives from all levels of government and all sides of the political spectrum. The Western Division Council's conference a chance for the city to have its voice heard and lobby for government support.
From every level of government spanning right across the political divide, under one roof for a common goal.
Getting action done with your ministers and shadow ministers in the room, so it's a great opportunity for our councillors and everyone else to have a chat to our elected members.
Local councils from Western New South Wales uniting as one to improve outcomes for our sometimes neglected region.
From what you wear on your clothes to what you eat on your plate, all comes from the western part of New South Wales. So the ministers better listen to what we have to say out there, otherwise action will be taken.
The Mayor of Broken Hill says water and health remain of concern. Housing and childcare also areas she'll be raising with ministers.
We're going to work together as a group, and that's the strength of the Western Division. It is a lobbying group, it is a support group.
MPs also keen to be seen in our region. The member for Parks touring the RFDS COVID vaccine facility today in a bid to ease safety concerns. His priority for the conference, funding reforms to better support local councils.
Larger city councils get a much higher percentage than the smaller regional ones, and quite often, as we saw over the last 12 months, the regional councils have really stepped up during COVID.
A move sure to be welcomed, with Broken Hill City Council among those expecting a deficit this year. The Education Minister and Water Minister will take to the stage tomorrow. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, our region's farmers looking to the skies this autumn, and Broken Hill gearing up for the possible return of the Mad Max film franchise. Welcome back. 2 youths have been arrested for allegedly breaking into a Wylanori home last Wednesday, with a third still on the run. The offenders allegedly stole car keys, a wallet, shoes and other property from a Scobell Street home. The occupants woke to see a suspect rummaging through a car in their driveway. Police viewed security footage, eventually arresting 13 and 14-year-old Wyler boys. Investigations continue to locate the third suspect. 3 people have been arrested following drug raids in Port Pirie on Sunday. Patrols attended a Solomon Town property with a search warrant and drug detection dogs. They also searched the neighbouring property. 4.5 kilograms of dried cannabis and 3 cannabis plants were found altogether. A 51-year-old woman, 58-year-old man and 52-year-old man were arrested. They were all bailed and will appear in court in late May. Residents are being urged to check their cash, with a recent surge in counterfeit notes across South Australia. Police have received more than 50 reports of $50 notes being passed through businesses, including in regional locations. In some instances, the print appears to be flaking, along with defective features, including a 7-pointed star being out of alignment. Anyone who comes across these notes is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. A dry and mild forecast is causing uncertainty for some farmers, with the rain gauge still bone dry in parts of the region. It's a ticking clock before seeding starts, but government support is set to flow to those hardest hit.
Out on his property at Louth Bay, farmer Rex Chulman is eagerly awaiting to get into the driver's seat and start sowing this season's crops.
Compare this year with last year, it's been a very cool, dry summer.
He says it's a ticking clock though. If they don't get any rain in the next month, they could be looking at a very tough season ahead.
We can wait till May for a good rain, so long as we get a serious winter when it starts.
With his eyes to the skies, Rex is hedging his bets and may dry sow his crop in the hope for some rain on the horizon.
We're unsure about dry seeding. We will do some dry probably if it hasn't rained in another week or two. We like to wait for rain, but now with Roundup canola we will put a paddock or 2 in dry and see how we get on.
But the forecast doesn't look too promising, and with dry topsoil across the region, it's leaving some farmers on tenterhooks.
Dry summers are okay, so long as we get a follow-up with a nice wet winter. We're still looking for rain.
If not, the government says it'll be there to help cushion the blow, with an extra $7 million being rolled out to help support farmers install water-retaining infrastructure such as dams, pumps and pipes. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Mad Max is set to return to Silverton and Broken Hill, much to the delight of business owners and filmmakers. While it's not clear how much of the film will be shot in our region, locals say it could cement the city's place on the global filmmaking stage.
A big day for the Far West.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
The state government announcing a Mad Max prequel, Furiosa, will begin production in New South Wales in June.
It's going to be absolutely fantastic. I mean, everybody loves Mad Max, don't they?
Adrian Bennett's Mad Max Museum is almost as iconic as the films themselves. He says the latest installation will bring dollars to our region.
It's going to be a huge film. We've been told it's the biggest film that Australia's probably ever seen. It's going to be massive. It's going to be massive for the museum, for the fans, for tourists in general.
While it's been confirmed some production will take place in Silverton and Broken Hill, we don't yet know how much will be shot here. We also don't know what role Chris Hemsworth will be playing and whether he'll be paying a visit here.
It really is, for me, I think, out of everything I've done, the biggest pinch myself moment.
Production is expected to create more than 800 jobs and inject $350 million into the state's economy.
One of the great parts of big films like this coming to town is there's lots of opportunities for locals. I mean, I meet people all the time now that still talking about their experience on Mad Max 2 40 years ago.
Furiosa will hit cinemas in 2023. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A community forum will be held in Port Pirie on the 10th of May, aiming to educate residents on new Southern Flinders Ranges upgrades. Multi-million-dollar plans are underway to turn the Mount Remarkable region into a world-class tourism destination. Projects include a new mountain bike trail and new camping facilities. Residents will be able to hear firsthand about each project and how they might benefit from this development. The session is being held at 7:30 at the Memorial Oval Precinct. Stay with us. New figures show UniHub Spencer Golf student numbers are continuing to grow, and Whyalla in the midst of a retail business boom. Nominations have opened to fill vacant positions on the Silverton Village Committee. Those wishing to put their name forward must live in the village and complete their nomination by the 24th of May. There are currently 2 vacant positions on the committee. Voting will begin in late May, but will only go ahead if there are more candidates than empty positions. Locals will be able to have their say through mail-in ballots. A new survey has ranked South Australia in the top 10 dream destinations for outdoor adventure. The state is ranked 7th behind the Gold Coast and Northern Territory. The survey also revealing locals are keen to see more of their own state, with 52% saying they want to spend more time outdoor this year. And 79% say they're committed to keeping up caravanning and camping adventures, even after international borders open. UniHub Spencer Golf has doubled the number of regional student enrolments for the 3rd year in a row. Staff are thrilled with the increased demand for study in the regions, but they aren't planning to slow down anytime soon.
The numbers are back and it's good news for UniHub Spencer Golf. Student numbers are continuing to grow year on year with 107 undergraduates now enrolled. Staff giving themselves and the community a pat on the back.
3rd year and we've doubled the numbers again, so it's just fantastic to see, and it's a real testament, I think, to the community for backing this concept of UniHub.
48 students who are studying with other universities registered to use our facility here in Port Pirie alone. Last week the place was so busy, we had students everywhere. It was great to see, and it's exactly what we wanted this place to be like.
Popular courses include nursing and engineering, with more students opting to study in the regions.
Bachelor of Nursing has been the most popular course that we've seen enrolments in this year, which is great. Social work as well is really, really popular.
They've come a long way since opening in 2018, expanding into Port Augusta and recently Kadina.
Had a great orientation session. Now they're really settling into their studies. We've run some academic learning sessions for them, so they've had some good introduction to academic writing and referencing.
There's hopes graduates will enjoy living in a country community and fill vacancies in a number of sectors.
Know that there's always short supply of those skilled workers right across the region. So, graduates locally are more likely to gain employment and stay locally.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Whyalla is giving the Australian retail industry a run for its money, according to a new report. The study conducted by small business platform Xero reveals local spending in the Steel City is flourishing.
Business is booming for this local store.
Yeah, it's been going really well. I'm pleasantly surprised at how well it's going.
Opening in November last year, Sharon says she saw the need for more women's and children's clothing in the city.
And also big guys. The big guys I found were finding it really difficult. So we do jeans up to a size 17, we do big guys t-shirts and that sort of thing.
And the stats show the city is supporting its local retailers. Small business platform Xero's 2021 Insights report reveals Whyalla holds twice the proportion of retail businesses compared to the Australian average.
When you look at the business entities based in Whyalla, according to their ABN, 12% of all businesses are in the retail sector.
With COVID-19 forcing South Australian travellers to holiday within their own state, local businesses say they are enjoying the much-needed support, especially from their own.
Locals have been great. We get a few people from out of town, but it's mostly the local people. They come in and a lot of them come in every week just to see what's new.
Those interested in learning more can access the full study online.
The report is downloadable from the Xero website, so xero.com.au.
Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Port Augusta's Volleyball Association looking for new players. And Alex Sykes will join us with the latest weather forecast. Hello again. Port Augusta's Volleyball Association is preparing for a new season, holding its first come and try session last night. Committee members were pleased with the turnout, with another session planned for next week.
Volleyball is back and set to serve up a good season. While COVID put the sport on hold in 2020, the association is raring to go this year, hosting their first come and try session last night.
It was great just to have some new faces. We also had plenty of people who had played previously come out and just sort of have their first hit in over a year and get some of the rust out. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Despite some setbacks, the season has been cleared to commence in May. Organisers are hoping for a spike in recruits.
There were definitely quite a few faces new to town and it was great. They've got friends as well, so people who want to bring out other friends who might not be so sure about it, definitely bring along.
Members say it's an inclusive sport for all ages and skill levels.
I love that it's a team sport and the nature of it means that you get to play in different positions all the time.
The other good thing with it is that it's non-contact sport, so, you know, and everyone's on the same team. It's great for fitness without worrying too much about bumps and scrapes and things like that.
Locals encouraged to attend a second open night next Tuesday.
We have it set up so that if you're brand new to the sport, we'll run you through some of the skills. If you know a bit more what you're doing, we'll sort of just have a bit of a warm-up and then get into some scratch matches so everyone can knock the rust out and have a bit of a go.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Time to take a look at what's happening in the weather across our region. With all the latest details, it's good evening to Alex Sykes.
Thanks, John, and good evening, everyone. There were showers across parts of our region today. From 3 p.m, it was partly cloudy in Whyalla, 23 degrees, mostly sunny in Broken Hill, 25, and a shower or two clearing in Clare, 17 degrees. Looking further out across the region now, it was partly cloudy in Port Augusta, 26 degrees, Port Lincoln, 18, partly cloudy in Port Pirie, 22, partly cloudy in Woodnor, 21, Kadina and Cleve, both 17, Cooper Pedy was sunny and 26 degrees, and if you're in Adelaide, it was 19 degrees there. Taking a look at the satellite image now, low cloud pushing into southern and southeastern SA with a trough and brisk south to southwesterly winds in its wake are triggering showers. Skies are clear to the north with a high pressure ridge and dry air mass over the interior. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Westerly winds 10 to 15 knots, shifting southerly 15 to 20 knots during the late morning and early afternoon. Seas around 1 to 1.5 metres and south to southwesterly swell 1 to 1.5 metres also. To tomorrow's temperatures now, possible late shower in Port Lincoln, 20 degrees. Cleve partly cloudy, set to reach a high of 19 degrees. Similar conditions in Woodna, 22. Whyalla, 21. Port Augusta set to reach 23 and Kadina is set to top 20 degrees. Port Pirie partly cloudy, 21, Clare 18, and it'll be sunny in Broken Hill, set to reach a high of 20 degrees there. Taking a look further through the week now, partly cloudy and showers across the region on Thursday. Cooper Pedy is set to reach 23 degrees, a max of 20 in Woodna. Port Lincoln and Broken Hill. Adelaide is set to record the lowest temperature of 19 degrees. Similar conditions again on Friday. Showers in Port Pirie, Kadina and Adelaide. Cloudy in Port Lincoln and Woodna. Partly cloudy elsewhere across the region. Clearing up slightly on Saturday, a sunny 23 in Cooper Pedy, mainly fine conditions across the rest of the region. Also 23 in Port Augusta and Woodna, a degree cooler in Port Pirie, a max of 21 in Whyalla, Port Lincoln and Kadina, and a max of 20 in Adelaide and Broken Hill. So John, it appears winter is certainly on its way with mild temperatures and a few showers this week. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. It's back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Tuesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, and we will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.